Well, welcome back to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, Really Weird Cinema. And usually I don't tend to trash some films, but I just watched two that cost me like maybe 3 hours of my life, which I don't have to spare. And they're pretty fucking bad, and I just figured I would warn you about them. And the first one is Emmnuelle and Francios. And this promises all kinds of shit here. Let me see. Can I read this? Let me see. Seduction that includes sodomy, torture, J and B. What the hell's J and B? It's Scotch. Lesbianism, cannibalism, meat cleavers, and a super groovy soundtrack. Well, let me tell you something. As much ballyhoo as this piece of shit got, that's exactly what it is, a piece of shit. Use it for a fucking coaster. It's just soft porn, and usually Joe D'Amato is good at porn, be it soft, be it hard. I mean, who else could direct the hardcore version of The Magnificent Seven? But this one is George Eastman, that is, young George Eastman, who seduces the sister, Francios, I believe, who was the sister of Emmnuelle. It's not Laura Gremser either. And basically, good old George tricks her out, makes her hook for him, makes her the circle of a gangbang and all kinds of other shit, and the chick commits suicide by walking in front of a train. So Emmnuelle, the sister, seduces George, chains him up in the basement with chains that basically a baby could break. There's all kinds of shit. She has orgies in front of him, which are softcore. I mean, if you like the TNA, you like the TNA, but there's nothing really titillating about this whole thing. George fantasizes about hacking her up with a meat cleaver, which has the chick laying there nude with fake blood all over her. And eventually George breaks out, actually kills her with a meat cleaver, and is hiding from the cops. One of the cops pushes the button to the secret hidden chamber, locking George in where he's going to die. The end. Not worth a fucking look at all. I just saved you people probably $20. Then we go to a perennial piece of shit, Terror Circus, starring Andrew Prine. And Andrew Prine's one of those anomalies where he can be in a bunch of A pictures like The Devil's Brigade and things like that, and Star Trek, and then he winds up in these B movies like Hannah, Queen of the Vampire, and this turd, which is set out in the desert. It seems that Andrew was an ex-circus guy who basically kidnaps stranded female motorists and chains them in his barn, which is the alternate title, Barn of the Naked Dead, and parades them around and tortures them until he gets tired of them, and then they wind up either getting killed by his cougar or by his hideously deformed atomic mutant father who wandered into an A-bomb blast and wanders around the desert killing people. So one of the girls he captures winds up to remind him of his mother, which is another little sick little thing, and basically all the girls get loose. Andrew gets killed. The father wanders off into the desert for a sequel that, thank God, never materialized, and that's the end of the movie. This turd, for whatever reason, got resurrected in this Blu-ray, and pretty much during the early VHS days, this is one of those titles that was bounced around on a public domain thing that was put out by a lot of adult companies. They had that, they had Blood Moon, they had Point of Terror, stuff that nobody had filed on, and these things bounced around on Air Video, other video companies, and pretty much everybody back then knew it was a piece of shit, and I'm here to tell you right now, both of these are two pieces of shit. So, like I said, I really hate to trash people's films, but when something really sucks, I ain't about to candy coat it and try to sell it to you as something fucking cool, because it ain't. I mean, if you can buy this for $5, it might be worth the look, but that's about it. So, that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you later on. So, until then, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.